Good morning, class. I will now discuss about employee selection. And this is our last lesson under hiring stage of employment. All right, let us start. We have already discussed in the first part of our study of this subject that the most valuable asset of the company is its people. But how can its people be an asset if they are not performing at the level expected of them? And how can the company acquires high performing employees if its employee selection process is not excellent? That's how important employee selection is. If the procedure is proper, then the company can choose the right candidates who will help improve the company's operation, production, and of course, profit. When the wrong people are chosen for a job, they cannot finish their assignments faster. They cannot finish their assignments quickly or at least on time. A worker who is not efficient will affect other areas of the operation, and the result will be that the company will not be efficient, and that causes a problem in the management. And as the work slows down and takes longer, the cost of the operation also increases. And if the option is to enroll them first in training and development, it will cost more, especially if they are really slow to learn. If the selected workers, the wrong workers, resign because they can't really meet the performance standard of the company, then another expense and effort will be put into the recruitment process. So the company can really save money and time when the right person is selected. It really hurts for the company that what they pay to the wrong employees is their low level of performance. According to Dr. Doris P. Laron, employee selection refers to the particular HRM process of selecting the right person for the right job. based on certain specified criteria, such as competencies, experiences, and abilities. Almost every company sometimes has the chance that the person they need for a particular job vacancy will suddenly show up as if out of nowhere without even a recruitment effort. But that is not always the case. Sometimes it is difficult to choose the right person for the right job. Perhaps because there are many applicants with almost the same competencies, the same experiences, and the same abilities. Or maybe none of them are qualified. But the person is really needed. So the option is to choose the best of them all. And the task of choosing the best is not easy to do. There must be a process that complies with the rule of ethics that should be followed strictly. And here is the process that Dr. Doris Laron is talking about. It's in her book, Human Resource Management Principles and Practices. Step number 1 of that process is the completion of application. Completion of application. When an applicant applies for a specific position, the company must have an application form generated by the company based on the result of the job analysis. It must be filled out by the applicant, then submit along with the resume as supplemental. Each application form supplemented by a resume submitted by the applicants will be studied by the selection committee for them to formulate questions to be used for the initial interview. The purpose of the questions is to find out if their answers consistent with what they have indicated in their application form and resume, or to find out more about other job related information that was not revealed by the applicants in the application form and in their resume. And these are the following tasks of the selection committee concerning the application form. First, check the date so that fair schedules of interviews can be done properly. Second, check the educational background if the applicant is really qualified. Of course, it is immediately check if the completed course is job related and if there are excellent academic achievements, and awards. Third, check if the work experience is job related. If the work experience is not job related, there is still an advantage compared to those without. Fourth, check if there was a legal arrest or a criminal case. Legally speaking, it is not permitted to ask job seekers about their legal arrest. However, it is permitted if the legal case is related to the job they are applying for. For example, an applicant convicted of falsification of public documents will probably be disqualified from working at the BIR, the Bureau of Internal Revenue, probably be disqualified from working at the LRA, Land Registration Authority, probably be disqualified from working at DTI, Department of Trade and Industry, or in any government agency, including companies that processes documents, whether public or private. Therefore, it is necessary for the company to know the important details in their criminal case in order to know if they are really the facilitators or they were just used by influential individuals. They need to be asked about their case to be given consideration if they deserve it. If not, they can be accepted in other types of work that have nothing to do with their criminal case. The same goes for convicted illegal drug users. They may not be accepted by pharmaceutical companies, but they can still be accepted in companies that have nothing to do with drugs. Fifth, check the national origin. Its purpose is not discrimination. The company just wants to make sure that it is not a foreigner who will be chosen because it is against the law to hire foreigners without an alien employment permit from the Department of Labor and Employment and a 9G visa from the Bureau of Immigration. Sixth, check the character references. So you can ask someone to validate the applicant's name, address, family background, records or issues in the community, and other things the applicant indicated in the application form and resume. And other things that are not revealed that are job related. The last one, check if the applicant has disabilities. Since it is not allowed to ask about these to job seekers, it is necessary to be wise in making questions. Emphasize the physical requirements and qualifications of the job being applied for. If the job the applicant is applying for aligns with it. Step number 2, initial interview with the HR department. So this is now the step number 2 of the process that Dr. Doris Lauron was talking about in her book. Step number 2, initial interview with the HR department. In this interview, all those who are not really qualified for the job applied for based on the job requirements will be removed. When unqualified applicants continue to the next processes, it will waste too much time, money, and effort. So if they are not really qualified, eliminate them as soon as possible. That is giving them a favor so that they no longer have to hope to be hired and can look for another company. Step number 3, pre-employment testing. In this step, it depends on the company what method they will use to measure an applicant's ability and even their personality, including their attitude and behavior. Other companies administer polygraph test, graphology test, physical aptness, and others depending on the nature of the work applied for. Step number 4, reference / background check. Character references need to be asked about how well they know the applicant, how many years have they known the applicant, and what can they say about the applicant. In other companies, they are hiring other companies to do the background check. This option has advantages and disadvantages. That depends on the company. The important thing is to take this step seriously to ensure that the right applicant is selected. Step number 5, supervisor / team interview. This is the final interview. It will not be conducted by the HR, but by the head or leadership team of the department where the applicant will work. Being the leaders in that department, in that particular department, they definitely know the right person they need. And when the applicant is approved by them, they will communicate that to the HR. Step number 6, the medical / drug test. In other companies, the medical and drug test really comes first because the company wants to make sure that an applicant does not have any contagious diseases, so that current employees will not be put in danger. But in others, they just strictly implement a precautionary measures because they are considering the expenses of a job seeker. Step number 7, hiring decision. The selection committee should only focus on finding jobs or finding job requirements on the applicants. They should not be swayed by the applicants' captivating styles. In other companies, they will first discuss the results of the selection process with the management because they are involved in deciding who will be selected. And then the step number 8, the last one, job offer. Once an applicant has been selected, the next step is to give him or her a job offer. It can be verbal, but it is still better if it is a formal letter that states the compensation package and other important details related to his work. Then let the candidate sign the letter as a sign of a formal deal. This is where we will end our discussion. I hope you will not forget what you have learned in this lesson.